Shevi'i of Parshat Tazria ends with the discussion of the final diagnosis, if you will, of a tzorat. A tzorat usually, as we know, is translated as leprosy, but it's clearly not leprosy. It's some kind of affliction, a nega, that we're living through a pandemic now. That might be called a nega also. But these are a very special kind of negaim here. The one kind of nega that is first mentioned in the Torah of tzarat is the tzarat of a person in the physical body, and there's some kind of a skin infection or affliction, and the diagnosis and the determination of it is one that is made by the Kohen. And the Torah describes at great length what it looks like to be Tohar, what it looks like to be Tameh, and then moves on to another kind of tzarat, and that tzarat is when it appears to in an item of clothing or material that from which clothing might be made. So we have nigei adam and we have nigei bigadim. And the Torah at the end of the Parshas Tazria says that if it is diagnosed in the end and is found to be tzorat, what is to be done? And the Torah ends zos Torah neged tzarat beged semer o pishtim o shtia o erev o kol klior letaro o letamo. This is the story. So we're dealing with in this Torah in this parsha, for the most part, with tzarat. So we have this tzarat of the body, and at the end the tzarat of the beged. And in Parshat Mitzorah, we will have a third kind of tzarat, and that is the tzarat, the nega that afflicts the house. An entire structure might be said to be infected or afflicted. And the details are spelled out in Parshas Tazria and Parshas Tetzorah. The notion, the way Chazal understood. Chazal understood that what does Mitzorah mean? The Gemara in Erchen on Tet Vav Bet says, Reish Lakish says that this is Mitzorah is Motzi Ra, the one who brings out evil, or in another sense, as the Gemara explains, the person who speaks badly of the actions of another. He is a Motzi Shemra, or what we generally call, he is a bearer of a purveyor of information about others, and which redounds negatively about them. He goes around telling bad things about other people, what they've done, what they've said, and so on and so forth. He's a Motzi Shem Ra. Without getting into all the details of Lashon Hara, or Motzi Shem Ra, or Rechilut, and so on and so forth, he is a talebearer. Okay, now to understand these realities, there is a well-known formulation of the Kutzker Rebbe. It goes like this: if I am I, because I am I, and you are you, because you are you, then I am I, and you are you. But if I am I, because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I am not I, and you are not you. In other words, we don't measure ourselves to really know who we are by simply saying, well, I'm better than you, and you know, and you will measure yourself by being more than I, or I will be more than you or less than you, or more, you'll be more than me or less than me. That kind of definition of self, where we are what we are by virtue of whether we rank higher or lower than the other person in some way, is neither a definition of self for myself, nor a definition of the other for himself or herself. This notion of measuring oneself by the other is really reflected in the whole idea of Mitzora. There is an affliction of the person who feels, who defines himself by being more or less than the other. Indeed, this is the issue that crops up right away when man and woman are in the idyllic, in Gan Eden, in the idyllic existence, and everything is open before them. They're not in competition with anybody, with anything else. Everything is open for them except for one thing. They can't eat of a particular tree. And the worm at the core of the apple, if you will, is that the snake, the inner snake, says, but I can't be like God, and I want to be like God. And the snake says, this tree that God forbade us to eat, if we were only able to eat this fruit of this tree, it's so beautiful looking, it's so delicious, it's going to be delicious. And they go ahead and they do it. Right? Ve'yitem, the snake says, Ve'yitem kelokim yodei tov v'ra. You too will be a creator of worlds. God ate from this tree and created the world. You too, Ve'yitem kelokim yodei tov v'ra. But what happens? It's an illusion. It's a delusion. Right? And man and woman who are completely naked without clothes are somehow frightened. Man runs to hide among the trees of the Gan and what does he say? God asks him, did you eat? And he doesn't say yes. He says, she did it. That's the first Lashon Hara, if you will, in the Torah. She made me. She gave it to me. She was the bad one. She was the instigator. She was the one who picked of the fruit, if you will. Right? And somehow that lets him off the hook. Right? And it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work when you're naked, when your body, let us imagine that your body is more powerful than the next person. That makes you a better person. Your body is as powerful as it is as beautiful as it is. There is no standard of comparison here. That's irrelevant. Your strength, I'm strong because I'm stronger than the other person. And they have clothing, so we invented clothing. God gave us clothing, but then man becomes, the clothing makes the man. No, the clothing doesn't make the man. The clothing doesn't make the man, but we state who we are. Like we can wear things with designer labels that cost more money just because I have the labels which say that I have more than you, and therefore I can afford this kind of expense. So the way I have strength, a physical reality, or some physical characteristic, or I have, these are not measures of what reality is. These are not measures of truth. And there is a third measure which will come up in the next parsha, in Parshas Mitzora, and that is the house that I have. My house, right? So I have a mansion. Look at me. Look at my clothing. Look at my house, ye mighty, and despair, because I am more beautiful, I am more handsome, I am healthier, I am more powerful, I have more money, I have a grander mansion. It's all the falseness that afflicts us and infects us in our very deepest character. And of course, this is what the Navi says, the Navi Yirmiyahu says, Al yitalel chacham b'chachmato, Al yitalel ashir b'ashro, Al yitalel gibor b'gvurato. A person should not praise himself because he might be smarter or know more than the next person. A person should not praise himself because he is more powerful, stronger, more handsome. Al yitalel ashir b'ashro, or because he has more money than the others, than somebody else. Those are not standards. And this is reflected by Ben Zoma in the fourth parak of Pirkei Avos, who says, who is a strong person? A person who can conquer others, but a person who can conquer himself, who can rule over himself. Ezel Ashir, who is wealthy, not a person who has more than others, but a person who is satisfied, who is happy with what he has. And so there is the danger, the affliction of getting too much wrapped up in superficiality, and superficiality is the beauty of form, if you will, the allure of wealth, the allure of clothing, the allure of housing, the world of the world of having. But if I am I because I am I am I. That's the bottom line. What I am, okay? What I am. And so we have the nega of tzara. It can be in the beged, it can be in the or, the skin, or it can be in the house. Those are all externalities. And that is the meaning of the life that is dedicated to essentiality, and that is to be everything that I can be, which in the end means to stand in the presence of God, not to hide in the trees of the forest or in the various ways that we hide, to stand before God with all the abilities, with all the God-given abilities, directed in the service and the awareness of God, not in being better than one person or better than another person. That is what I am doing when I am Motzi Ra. Surely one would not say, oh, Ruvain, I saw him eating in a McDonald's a cheeseburger on Yom Kippur. What am I saying? I'm saying, I'm better than Reuven, because I wouldn't be saying it if I was somebody. Well, how did you see him? Well, I say I was there eating a cheeseburger and McDonald's at the same time. I'm saying I'm better than. HaKadosh Baruch Hu should give us the understanding and the wisdom to apply in a very significant and profound way the concept of the affliction and the infection of I am I, because you are you, because you are not me. I am I. Okay? No.